Throughout Islamic history, the light of knowledge has guided the Muslim Ummah. At the heart of this intellectual tradition lies one powerful concept, Ijtihad, the process of reasoning and interpretation that kept Islamic law alive, relevant, and adaptable to the challenges of every age. In Islam, Ijtihad refers to the independent effort of qualified scholars to derive rulings from the Quran and Sunnah when clear evidence is not found. But Ijtihad is not merely a legal tool, it's a reflection of the Islamic spirit of thought, reasoning, and moral responsibility. Let us travel back in time across 4 major eras to understand how Ijtihad evolved, from the righteous caliphs to the Umayyads, the Abbasids, and finally the Ottoman Empire. After the passing of Prophet Muhammad SAW, the Muslim community faced new challenges. The companions, Sahabat, needed to find ways to solve issues that were not directly mentioned in the Quran or Sunnah. This was the beginning of Ijtihad, the effort to apply Islamic principles to new situations.
For instance,
Ya Ashabi, where should we bury our Prophet?
I once heard from our Prophet that a Prophet should be laid to rest in a place where he passed away.
If that's so, we should bury him at Sayyidatina Aisha's house.
The caliphs of the Khulafa ar-Rashidin era, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, made the Quran and Sunnah their main source of judgment. Whenever a problem arose, they first looked into the Prophet's teachings for guidance. When no clear text existed, the companions gathered to discuss and agree on a solution. This was known as ijma, or consensus. Decisions were made collectively, ensuring that the entire Muslim community remained united. At times, they used qiyas, analogy, comparing new cases to similar ones from the Prophet's time. They also applied ra'i, reasoning, using logic and wisdom to choose what's best served, and maslahah, public interest, ensuring fairness and benefit for all. Ijtihad during this era was practical and people-centered. The caliphs focused on the needs of society and governance, ensuring justice, welfare, and moral integrity. Their approach reflected deep respect for the Prophet's legacy while adapting to the growing Muslim world. As Islam spread rapidly across vast territories from Spain to India, new cultures, customs, and issues emerged. The caliphs and scholars of the Umayyad dynasty faced new questions that the earlier generation had never encountered. With new challenges arising daily, scholars began developing more systematic methods of ijtihad. They still based their rulings on the Quran and Sunnah, but when no direct answer was found, they turned to ijma and qiyas to solve problems logically and fairly. During this period, scholars introduced new tools like ijtihad, which allowed for choosing the most just and reasonable legal opinion, and maslahah mursalah, which focuses on the welfare of the community. These methods help ensure that Islamic rulings were practical and compassionate. As Islam reached new lands, scholars began to consider local customs, or known as urf. As long as they didn't contradict Islamic teachings, this made Islamic law more flexible and relevant to people's everyday lives in different regions. Differences began to appear between scholars of different cities, such as Medina, known for its reliance on traditions, and Kufa, which emphasized reasoning and analogy. This diversity laid the foundation for the development of various schools of thought, mazhab, in later centuries. In the bustling city of Baghdad, the heart of the Abbasid Caliphate, knowledge flourished like never before. Scholars, thinkers, and jurists from across the Muslim world gathered to discuss, debate, and document Islamic law. This was the golden age of Ijtihad. Four towering figures emerged: Imam Abu Hanifah, Imam Malik, Imam al-Shafi'i, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Each developed a unique method of interpreting Islamic law, giving birth to the four major mazhabs, school of thought, that Muslims still follow today. Madrasah Fiqh, or law schools, were established, where students learn how to apply Quranic principles to real-life issues. The discipline of Usul al-Fiqh, principles of jurisprudence, was systematically written and codified, ensuring clarity and consistency in legal reasoning. Scholars perfected concepts like istishab, presumption of continuity, and Sa'ad al-Daharai, blocking means to harm. These tools allowed jurists to make wise, preventive, and fair judgment in complex cases, keeping Islamic law dynamic and relevant. As the Abbasid era matured, some scholars began to say that the door of Ijtihad was closing, meaning that the major interpretations had been completed. Others, however, believed that Ijtihad should continue to adapt to changing times. The Abbasid period became known as the Golden Age of Islamic knowledge, when intellectual growth, scientific discovery, and religious scholarships reached new heights. The Uthmaniyah era, or the Ottoman Empire, began as a small principality in Anatolia and grew into one of the world's greatest Islamic empires. As the empire expanded, new cultures, laws, and challenges emerged, and Ijtihad became essential to govern a vast and diverse society. The Ottomans valued knowledge and made religious scholars, ulama, part of their administration. The Sheikh al-Islam, the highest religious authority, advised the Sultan on matters of Islamic law and issued fatwas that guided the empire's policies. This partnership between scholars and rulers ensured that Ijtihad served both faith and governance. The empire officially adopted the Hanafi mazhab. Most Ijtihad was carried out within Hanafi principles, creating consistency across the empire's courts. Although this limited new independent reasoning, it preserved stability and legal unity throughout the Muslim lands. Over time, scholars became cautious of issuing new rulings. They preferred taqlid, following earlier jurists instead of fresh ijtihad. This led to what historians call the closure of the gate of ijtihad, where creative legal reasoning declined and emphasis was placed on preserving past scholarship. By the 19th century, as the empire faced modernization and Western influence, the Ottomans turned again to Ijtihad. They sought ways to adapt Islamic law to modern governance while keeping its essence. This effort produced the Majalah al-Ahkam al-Adliyah 1869 to 1876, a groundbreaking civil code based on Hanafi fiqh, written in style of modern law. It symbolized a revival of Ijtihad in a new form, blending classical Islamic wisdom with the needs of a modern state. Even after the fall of the Ottoman Caliphate in 1924, its contributions to Ijtihad continued to inspire Muslim jurists around the world. The Ottomans proved that Islamic law could adapt, evolve, and remain relevant across centuries, staying true to Sharia while meeting the realities of changing times. From the early caliphs who ruled with direct wisdom, to the Umayyads who structured administration, to the Abbasids who formalized the science of law, and the Ottomans who modernized it. The spirit of Ijtihad has continuously evolved. What does this tell us? That Islam was never static. Its law, Sharia, is divine, but its application is dynamic. It responds to people, place, and time through Ijtihad. In today's world, as Muslims face new ethical, social, and technological challenges, the call for renewed Ijtihad echoes once again. not to change Islam but to apply its eternal wisdom to the realities of the modern age, just as our scholars did for centuries before us. From the humble gatherings of the companions in Medina to the great libraries of Baghdad and the courts of Istanbul, Ijtihad has been the heartbeat of Islamic civilization, a timeless reminder that faith and reason, when united, can guide humanity through every era.